At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Carter Dolman. On the motorcycle of his good acquaintance, the man quickly gets to work at the bank and decides to talk to Rick, who is extremely agitated by a phone call. However, Carter is refused cooperation and is told to come back tomorrow or never. The man leaves, constantly glancing at his watch. The action shifts to last Friday. A girl named Sheila Rilo sits surprised in a small cafe. Manager Rick tries to explain himself to his girlfriend, saying that 3 years of their relationship is not an empty sound for him. The guy's touching confession is interrupted time and again by the conversation of two buddies who are having fun behind the bar. Upset, Sheila hits Rick and scares one of the guys, thus winning their argument. The heroine leaves the cafe with extremely mixed feelings. Next, we are introduced to Jason Wally, who studies lizards. The man recalls how after 5 years at the bank, he was promoted to assistant manager. Rick quite explained to him that there would be a lot of responsibilities, but that it only increased the status. However, in return, he offered Jason a raise of 50 cents an hour. It was then that the man realized that he didn't like the job he had spent 5 years of his life on at all. Jason is distracted by memories, causing the lizard to cling to his arm, causing discomfort. A convertible driven by Max flies past the man at high speed. Sitting in the passenger seat, Stewart is clearly not thrilled with his buddy's driving style. The guy also works in a bank and is very angry when in the cafe it turns out that Max has again taken money from him, not having returned the previous debt. Meanwhile, Sheila tells the guy at the diner about Rick's betrayal. The guy borrowed money from the girl for his studies and would soon receive his diploma. When Sheila reminds him that it's his turn to sponsor her education, Rick confesses that he's sleeping with his teacher and they should break up. Sheila's companion comforts her and tells her his name, Mark. The guy says he works as a firefighter and suggests they get together one night. Meanwhile, Carter tells his friends how he was fired for putting too much ice cream in customers' cups. Stewart suggests that his buddy try to get a job with them at the bank. Jason returns to his unusual dwelling and greets his pet, a duck named Josh. The man once saved him from a hunter and now cares for him as his child and best friend. Meanwhile, Max talks to Stewart and offers endless business plans to win girls. Jason comes to work and speculates about how much money is kept in the bank and how often it is counted. A man reminisces about Charles, his rich client who shows up at their place about once a month and keeps his safe deposit box key in his dog collar. Meanwhile, Sheila sports a memory of Rick suggesting she stay friends and throws away all the things associated with him. The heroine finds a box of matches and begins to perform various machinations on it. Stewart criticizes the business schemes of a friend, which upsets him. However, Max hears the unbelievable. Stewart proposes to rob the cash register of a local bank at the weekend. In addition, the idea of breaking into the safe arises. The key to it is kept in the cash register, which is rarely monitored. Rick goes out at the same time every day to get coffee. Stewart thinks that unfortunately his plan is unrealizable. However, the enthusiastic Max is ready to take a risk and steal exorbitant amounts of money and become rich. Charles comes to the bank, however this time without a dog. Jason realizes that this is his chance to rob the safe, but Rick asks the man to count the money in one of the cash registers. A nervous Sheila leaves the office and asks the manager for the key to the vault. Rick leaves to get coffee, at which time Max shows up at the bank. Stewart tries to explain to him that the plan was just a joke, but his friend continues to insist on carrying it out. Jason runs out from behind the cash register, leaving the drawer with the keys to the safe open. Stewart cleans out the cash register and takes the keys to the safe. Meanwhile, Sheila makes a duplicate of the vault keys to then rip off the bank. Rick doesn't flirt with the waitress and decides to return to the bank earlier than usual. Max manages to escape before he arrives, as does Sheila. Shmuley sees Charles's commercials on TV and is angry because she spent a lot of money on his tapes, but they were of no use. The girl wants revenge on him and shares her plan with Carter. Meanwhile, Jason tries to break into Charles's mansion to get the keys to the safe deposit box. Max praises his buddy and they quickly leave town. Soon Jason manages to get over the fence and finds the dog. However, the dog turns out not to be very friendly, and Charles is already pulling up to his mansion. Jason hides in the mansion and finds a model duck. The man realizes that Charles was the one who once hunted Josh. Jason hides in a closet, and the owner of the mansion miraculously fails to notice him. In the meantime, Carter goes on many interviews, but fails at all of them. Meanwhile, Shmuley is reprimanded by her boss and imagines how she would get revenge on him. Max and his partner make it to Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Jason is still hiding in the closet, and Sheila creates a duplicate key. Afterward, the heroine goes on a date with Mark, and Stewart is a little nervous about his act. Sheila tells him that she wants to rob a bank, because then Rick will definitely get fired. Shmuley and Carter drive to Charles's mansion to egg him. Jason, lurking in the closet, hears a man about to cook a duck. Charles almost notices as he is being attacked. However, at that moment eggs start flying through his windows. After that, we see Charles chasing the hooligans, and Shmuley, failing to keep track of the situation on the road, flips over on her motorcycle. The girl doesn't find Carter, but decides to run away after hearing Charles's pet chasing her. Meanwhile, Mark tries to dissuade the heroine from committing a crime for revenge against Rick. Sheila hardly listens to him. She is ready to do anything to get back at her ex-boyfriend. Suddenly, Shmuley runs up to the car, and because of her the dog decides to attack Mark and his lady companion. The couple manages to hide by running into a bank, and Charles goes there. Shmuley, who foolishly organized both the chase and the attack on the house, successfully escapes by hiding behind a garbage can. The girl tries to run away, and the man is distracted by her for a second. Sheila takes advantage of this to reset the bank's security system and avoid having the cameras turned on. Meanwhile, Jason finds a key in the fountain and realizes that a dog dropped it there during their lunchtime confrontation. Max, on the other hand, along with his friend and some beautiful girls, gets to go to a concert and generally enjoy the luxury. Stewart gets nervous and decides to talk. The guy admits that he intends to return the remaining money to the cash register on Monday, as he doesn't want to go to jail. In response, Max snidely remarks that his life already looks like imprisonment, and he loses a great opportunity to free himself and enjoy the world around him. Friends quarrel, but the guy assures Stewart that he will accept any decision he makes, although any money in this country is most likely stolen from someone else. Meanwhile, Mark and Sheila wait for a while to see if Charles has left his post at the bank door with a weapon in his hand. The couple kiss, and the rich man returns home. Checking his dog's collar, Charles realizes that the key has mysteriously disappeared. Jason returns home with his loot. Stewart is tormented by his conscience, and the pair of robbers fall asleep under the table at the bank. Carter, abandoned by his inconsiderate girlfriend, returns the girl's motorcycle after all and comes home. The guy is going to a job interview and invites Shmuley to go with him. Meanwhile, Jason arrives at the bank to finally open Charles's safe deposit box. Max and Stewart bet all their money in the casino, hoping to win the jackpot. Jason opens the safe deposit box and Sheila opens the vault drawer. The guys' bet works out and they win a huge amount of money. Finally, Monday comes. Stewart arrives at work to return the stolen money and suddenly notices a large number of policemen in front of the bank. The guy goes inside and tries, without getting nervous, to talk to Rick. Stewart discreetly returns the money to the safe, learning that they only found the money missing from the ATMs. Meanwhile, Carter arrives for his first day of work. Rick chases him away, much to the guy's dismay. The rest of the characters are happy that suspicion of the robbery did not fall on them. Rick gets fired, and he invites Jason into his office to appoint him bank manager. However, the guy quits. Sheila and Stewart also do the same. The heroine entered the University of California to major in economics. Jason and George went to travel to the pole. Max and Stewart went to Las Vegas. One works at blackjack and the other, formerly a bank employee, is being treated for mental illness. Rick hired Carter for the job after all. Charles opens the safe deposit box, learns that he has been robbed, and finds a note with a duck's footprint and the words, "Now we're even." This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.